Modern kitchen faucets come in many different designs and materials. Faucets are also known as taps in certain parts of the world. Wherever you are, they all have similar installation requirements and are quite easy to install. Today we're going to look at the installation of a mixer tap that requires one hole in the sink. If your sink has more than one hole, you can buy a hole cover for sinks, which is very simple to fit. If you need to drill a hole into the sink, use a hole saw fitted into an electric drill. Ensure that the hole saw is suitable for the material that your sink is made of, which in our case is metal. The faucet that we're installing has two water feeder pipes, one for the hot water and one for the cold water. Slip the water supply lines through the hole and position the faucet in place. Moving under the sink, we can see the lines and the bottom of the faucet. We'll fix it in place using a securing plate. The securing plate is a horseshoe-shaped fixing plate, which fixes the tap securely to the basin. It's placed below the tap and under the sink. A threaded stud runs through the fixing plate and is secured in place by a nut. In this case, we have a two-basin sink, and so space is quite tight. A long tightening spanner is usually supplied with the faucet kit, and this makes fixing the nut easier. Check the contents in your pack when you purchase the faucet, and if a long spanner is not supplied, purchase one to fit the faucet nut while you're in the store. Check that the faucet is lined up correctly on top of the sink and tighten the nut firmly by hand. Take care not to force tighten it, or you may strip the threads. A firm pressure by hand is sufficient. Now all that remains is to connect the water supply. Often one needs to extend the length of the water supply pipes that come with the faucet. Measure the distance from the faucet hole to the water supply and determine whether or not you need longer water supply lines. If you do, you can buy them at the same time as you buy the faucet. You'll also need to buy a connecting piece for each pipe that you're extending. Modern coupling pieces don't require the use of plumber's tape. In modern houses, the hot water supply is on the left and the cold water supply is on the right. If your connections are the wrong way around, simply switch the supply lines at the end of the job. All joints should be tightened firmly by hand. Using water pump pliers and a shifting spanner works very well. Now, with the water supply lines connected to the faucet, turn on the water supply. Check the joints when you're finished, and if there is a leak, tighten the nuts a little more. If you still see a leak, undo the joint, wind 2 turns of plumbing tape around the thread, and join the pipes again. A good idea is to remove the filter at the end of the faucet spout. Give it a good clean and screw it back on. This faucet looks great. There are no leaks and fitting was really quite easy.